Welcome to the ace game. King, CaptainSPrice defending against challenger Jesulin. It's 1-1. Jesulin had a huge overwhelming victory in the beginning. CaptainSPrice barely held on by a thread in game 2. Barely. Let's see if he can pull out another Axis win. He was Soviets last game, won with 2 Vet 3 IS-2s and a KV-8 at the very end of it. And he went with kind of interesting Oberkommando West build in game 1. Panzer Fusilier spam, basically, with Jagdpanzer support. Didn't work out, had some bad infantry engagements early, and he also had some bad RNG on his Jagdpanzer. So Jesulin won that one pretty easily. Pretty nasty slugfest in game 2. Jesulin's King Tiger made it to Vet 4 before being taken out by the most miraculous field gun shot I've ever seen. And yeah, we'll see what happens this game, since Jesulin is obviously the victory point leader here, with CaptainSPrice having only 2 victory points remaining in game 2. Jesulin had faction selection and has gone with Soviets, faction with which he won game 1. He's switched his loadout, however, to shock rifle, lend-lease, and guard motor, so counterattack is not an option, and CaptainSPrice has switched from Oberkommando West to Oster. And he'll have his Lightning War close air support and Jaeger armor doctrine. And I'm wondering what he's gonna do. I think all 3 of these are a pretty decent option, except for Jaeger armor, since his opponent didn't bring counterattack. That's not likely to be a meaningful choice, especially since he has the bomb strike and close air support anyway. So it's probably going to be between Lightning War and close air support, but we'll see what happens. No serious engagements yet. As usual, Jesulin has gone with a 4 conscript opening, taking control of most of the territory on the map. Grenadiers set up in this house will prevent further harassment in this area. CaptainSPrice will try to get the south under his control with these Grenadiers. The 4th Grenadier squad comes out a little late compared to the 4th conscript squad because of the need to build this structure, but the playing field should be pretty level from this point forward. Grenadiers set up in cover should be able to win at this range against those conscripts. If they leave that green cover position, this victory point will be securely in CaptainSPrice's hands. Meanwhile, this church position looks like it's about to fall to these conscripts. Grenadiers doing some work over here on this strategic point will equalize the current map situation, and it looks like the map is split almost perfectly in half, except for the central victory point, which is, of course, in Jesulin's hands. Pioneers will be forced to retreat from the church after being brought to only 1 man remaining, and they should be able to get home just fine. 2nd squad of Pioneers getting fielded by CaptainSPrice now. He loves flamethrowers, so there's no doubt in my mind that that's what he plans to be doing with that squad.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Grenadiers finish up capturing there in the north, while conscripts make their way towards the south to get the munitions point under control.
Fucking Rus bastards are attacking! The enemy has broken our supply lines. We have it! A squad of pioneers has arrived.
Grenadiers will be forced away here in the north by superior numbers. Conscript will close into short range just to seal the deal. There's the 1st flamethrower from CaptainSPrice, and he's fielded himself a 3rd squad of Pioneers as well to really boost his close range advantage. Doesn't want to get bullied by conscripts. And Jesulin actually goes with a flamethrower and a 5th squad of conscripts. A lot of infantry on the field. Probably going to be many engagements happening simultaneously at various points of the map this game. It's going to be difficult for both players to manage. Flamethrower here, bursting the enemy flamethrower. Total RNG battle. CaptainSPrice gets the 1st crit. He also has a 2nd flamethrower available to him. There's another crit. I don't know. Jesulin will be the first to retreat. More Grenadiers moving up from the south are applying a lot of pressure on Jesulin. He will be forced to retreat with those two squads. Grenadiers taking up position behind a truck there. Pioneers actually having a pretty good engagement versus those conscripts. Flamethrower moves up to seal the deal. And Jesulin's conscript spam is getting shut down here in the early game by flamethrowers. 2 flamethrowers and 4 grenadiers. And by spending all of his munitions on flamethrowers instead of LMGs at this point of the game, he's really banking on those short to medium range engagements going in his favor, and so far they seem to be. Jesulin making his way out of the base for a counterattack now.
We are losing territory. Shock troops can now be used to crush the enemy.
Jesulin resecures building control and is making his way back towards the north munitions with a flamethrower and conscript squad. He is going to catch these grenadiers out of cover here, dealing pretty good damage to one squad. It'll be forced to retreat. Second squad probably going to be soon to follow. There it goes. Meanwhile, CaptainSPrice will take control of 4 separate points in the north with his Pios and Grens, having excellent map control here at the 7-minute mark. Very much slowing down Jesulin's tech / call-in fuel. It's at 3 command points now. Jesulin will clearly make it to the fuel he needs for an IS-2 by the time it gets to 11 CPs, but he probably couldn't justify going tier 3 with his current fuel situation. He's going to try and turn the infantry game around a little bit with a demo charge here on the central victory point. But he is off to a very strong start here. Jesulin will have access to shock troops soon. He may be able to utilize those to turn the situation around somewhat. And if he can get a couple squads or one squad with that demo charge, that would definitely also help. 2 squads going south now to harass the victory point munitions. CaptainSPrice may choose to send some of his forces that direction to counter. We've also got 3 squads of his making their way towards the north, probably to harass the cutoff and munitions. They will catch this conscript squad in red cover alone, since he's utilizing mostly flamethrowers. He can't force the retreat. Shock troops on the field now. He will catch that flamethrower way out of position. This could be a squad wipe here. I think it will be. Oh! What? Wow, I cannot believe that got away. Got away by a tiny sliver. He's somehow managed to avoid that demo charge so far, which just goes to show you should always throw it next to cover rather than in the open, but a squad's definitely going to walk over that at some point. CaptainSPrice will get control of the central victory point and the north cutoff once again. Meanwhile, he's sent 2 squads of grenadiers to counter-harass in the south, and it looks like it's going well. Took only 1 model loss before forcing 1 retreat. Should be able to force the second squad to retreat as soon as he's done wrapping up capturing those sectors.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Four flamethrowers on the field now, 5th one in production. And CaptainSPrice has gone with close air support, which is what you would kind of expect looking at this build. If he's going to throw down some teller mines to defend against vehicles, he's going to need a lot of munitions. He doesn't have any munitions right now. He just upgraded all of his Grens with LMGs to support his flamethrower Pios. He's going to have total infantry dominance. Jesulin wants to try and deal with this with a Maxim machine gun, and that's in production now. CaptainSPrice is getting control of everything in the south. Grenadiers walk into a bad engagement, but support is on the way. Flamethrower squad over there. And these Grenadiers are not moving to support. He's content to continue taking territory. He has both a victory point lead, victory point control, and total map control. 10 minutes into the game, we'll see if he can keep it up. Jesulin still has not teched up. He's got the fuel to do so. But it looks like he's going to just go straight for Collins, which may prove to be a mistake against close air support. I guess we'll see.
We are taking
CaptainSPrice is exhibiting all the signs of close air support. Massive amounts of munitions expenditures, huge amounts of infantry.
Supply sector under attack.
So it makes sense to try and get a T-70 out as quick as you can against this, but he's really struggling for map control.
Supply lines have been cut.
Well, he's struggling for fuel. I guess he just doesn't feel that he could afford that. If he drops 120 on the Tier 3 structure, he'll only have 50 left. So if he's going to save for IS-2s, teching just isn't an option right now. LMG Grenadiers forced to retreat from those shock troops. And conscripts will force away that Grenadier squad. There's 2 squads here on the victory point to control that. Shock troops moving up may be able to force them away depending on flame crits. Conscripts certainly are not going to win that engagement by themselves. The Maxim has been fielded. It is making its way over towards the munitions, and CaptainSPrice has a pretty scary force of infantry making its way back out of his base. Catches 1 conscript squad somewhat out of position. Still no minesweeper from CaptainSPrice, so that demo charge has a lot of potential to be a to be a big deal. Conscript squad will retreat, but shock troops are moving up into close range. 2 flamethrowers available for this engagement, though. No crits yet. Heavy damage on this squad. Ooh, that was a nice one. Grenade goes in. CaptainSPrice is watching. He'll force the retreat and take only minor losses. Nice play by CaptainSPrice, dodging that grenade, despite having to manage an engagement here in the north, where he's forced to retreat from that flamethrower squad, which will once again get away with a pixel of health. Maxim is getting burst down by flamethrowers, and a rifle grenade from the south threatens to wipe the squad. There it goes. It will be wiped. Decent amount of suppression got done by that Maxim, but the Grenadiers are unsuppressed. This Pyro squad is suppressed, and he retreats both. Probably should have only retreated the low health one, giving the engagement over to those conscripts. And the engagement for the center is going poorly for Jesulin, as his conscripts are forced from the building. LMG Grenadiers dealing heavy damage to these conscripts will force them to retreat as well. And Grenadiers are going to take control of this fuel point in the north. We could see a squad wipe right here from those LMGs. Maybe. Oh. Again, barely gets away. Incendiary artillery may force a retreat from those Grenadiers. They're taking heavy damage. But they will get clear of the flames and then retreat anyway. Demo charge will not secure any kills from the look of things. He might choose to get rid of that Pyro squad, but yeah, he decides that's worth it just to get that one of those flamethrowers off the field. Jesulin's taking a lot of manpower bleed, but no squad wipes yet on either side besides those Pyos. Actually, okay, how many Pyos did he make? Yeah, he made 5. Pretty sure he had 5, so that Pyo squad is the only squad wipe of this whole game. A lot of manpower bleed on both sides, and map control still great for CaptainSPrice. But they've been doing a good job of keeping their units alive.
Incendiary artillery barrage ready to fire.
It is now under our control.
This territory is ours.
Heavy Panzer Corps being constructed here by CaptainSPrice, which means he's gone to Tier 4. I don't think he's used redistribute resources at all. He's had such good map control, he actually has made it to Tier 4. Has not even built the Tier 2 structure. Just skipped right past it, no anti-tank guns. What a risky play. See if it pays off. Grenadiers force a retreat from this conscript squad. Couple Pyos making their way towards the south. This one's rather wounded, but Yeah, that one's going to get forced to retreat. Whether the engagement goes to these piles or not will depend on crits. Jesulin does not have Molotovs. Can't turn the engagement if it goes badly. He'll just retreat. He's not even going to take the chance. He was probably going to lose that anyway. Plus Grenadier support was on its way. CaptainSPrice is taking control of the center now with these piles, getting control of the south. In addition to that, he's got a couple squads making their way to the north to counter-harass. Conscript squad falling low will be forced to retreat. Maxim moving up to engage this flamethrower squad, but it's already inflicted huge damage to those conscripts. They'll be forced to retreat. Rifle grenade forces the Maxim to retreat, and Price is winning on all fronts of this battlefield. Jesulin's about to have an IS-2, and CaptainSPrice will have the fuel for a Panther soon, which is not as good as an IS-2, obviously, but his map control has been very powerful. And in conjunction with an anti-tank strafe, for example, he should be able to turn the tide of an engagement between his Panther and an IS-2 in his favor. It's going to come down to how CaptainSPrice utilizes his Panther against Jesulin's IS-2, and it's going to come down to his off-map ability usage. He won't have anti-tank grenade or anti-tank guns for the coming engagements. Doesn't have that extra meaty firepower to fight that IS-2 until he builds a tier 2 structure. But he could consider throwing some munitions worth of Teller mines down on the ground, even though that would hamper his ability to use his planes, since Teller mines are so effective, and he could put them in really aggressive locations since he has total map control. Jesulin does only have one combat engineer squad, which means no minesweeper because it's upgraded with a flamethrower right now. Force of infantry making its way towards the center here will force a retreat from those conscripts. Shock troops taking control of the central victory point, and conscripts are going to grab the munitions up here in the north while the Maxim takes control of the fuel. Panther's on the field and the IS-2 is ready as soon as Jesulin has the 640 manpower for it. This is what it's really going to come down to, how the Panther versus IS-2 matchup plays out. Jesulin has been behind all game long, but since his opponent has no AT guns, if he can make something happen against that Panther, he may still have a chance. A slim one. AT grenades would probably help too. He doesn't really have any AT of his own either, though. There's no field guns on the field, so it's just tank versus tank. Of course, the IS-2 is a lot more useful against infantry than the Panther is. Jesulin's kind of spreading out a little bit. He's getting more territory under control. CaptainSPrice is going to be forced to play a little more carefully with that IS-2 on the field. They've both played their hand. CaptainSPrice is going to have to get some really nice anti-tank strafes, basically. Because Panthers are the heaviest tank he can field, whereas IS-2s are the heaviest tank that Jesulin can field, so Jesulin has a huge advantage, late game advantage in that regard. CaptainSPrice is going to have to take full advantage of his commander to effectively combat these tanks. He did just wipe a squad somewhere. I think it was a squad of conscripts just got wiped. Yeah, he's down to only 4 now. Squad of cons did get wiped in the south. Nice anti-infantry strafe, by the way, from CaptainSPrice. He was about to lose that Pio squad, so he throws down the strafe to suppress those conscripts and allow his pioneers to get away. Cost him 60 munitions, but that's worth protecting a flamethrower. That 3 flamethrower. Easily.
We need to re-establish our supply lines.
Contact with the enemy!
Ooh. Maxim pops a flamethrower. Kind of a lucky break for Jesulin there. Crits one of the Pyos to death. Rifle grenade will prompt a retreat from the Maxim. Grenadier squad moving up should be able to get that victory point under control. The Panther is engaging the IS-2 in the center, trying to keep it from doing too much counter-harassment in the south. But all of its shots are bouncing. Panther bounces a couple IS-2 shots as well. And that engagement doesn't really go in anybody's favor. Pio squad might get wiped for real this time. No anti-infantry strafe is going to save them. They do manage to get across the road. Looks like they'll be okay. Some pretty near misses by CaptainSPrice today.
Contact! Man down!
As far as economy, CaptainSPrice will be able to afford a second Panther pretty soon. IS-2's not going to be here that soon. Jesulin is definitely utilizing this IS-2 well. Just look at the map. It's going very much more in Jesulin's favor now. IS-2 is very powerful presence on the battlefield. Stuka anti-infantry strafe comes in and suppresses those shock troops and prompts another retreat, allowing those pioneers to win the engagement and continue harassing up the battlefield. Conscripts in the church, providing vision for the IS-2, has yet to take even a scratch, but it's only got 1 kill, hasn't done anything too dramatic. Jesulin still has 7-8 minutes to go before his second IS-2 arrives, but his second Panther is already in production. Once that Panther comes out, CaptainSPrice will have a small advantage with which he could attempt to take out that IS-2. And if he can block its ability to maneuver by boxing it in with his tanks and blocking it, he could potentially kill it with an anti-tank strafe in conjunction with a double Panther push. And since he has so many flamethrower squads, he's got plenty of repairs to spare. Conscripts taking control of the victory point down here, but there are grenadiers available to counter-harass. And the second Panther is rolling onto the field. Jesulin's in a much more comfortable place now, but once this second Panther shows itself, that may not hold true. Lots of CaptainSPrice's forces are mobilizing towards the center, and I think he wants to make a big play to take out that IS-2 before a second one arrives and free up his forces to take control of the entire map. Jesulin, in the meantime, is making a big counterattack towards the south. That squad of grenadiers will be forced to retreat, and victory point control will go firmly to Jesulin. Light engagement happening in the center as conscripts take up a position in the church to peek at what CaptainSPrice has on the field, and that will reveal CaptainSPrice's second Panther. Jesulin's response to this, well, he was already making a field gun. He has a field gun available to him now to provide a little bit of protection against those Panthers, and we also have a lot of mines going down in this area from Jesulin. I don't see any mines protecting the IS-2 directly, though, should those Panthers get really aggressive and charge at it. CaptainSPrice does not currently have the munitions for an anti-tank strafe, but he does have the fuel to redistribute his resources if he finds that to be worthwhile. And all of Jesulin's infantry in the south has been pushed away by a few of CaptainSPrice's infantry squads. 3 flamethrowers down there. Panthers move up and get 1 penetrating shot. There's a field gun available to screen, and I guess CaptainSPrice doesn't quite feel comfortable with that engagement. Continues slugging it out at range. It gets 2 penetrations in a row. That will force Jesulin to disengage. Looks like CaptainSPrice considers this an opening he can capitalize on. This could be a decisive engagement. Redistribute resources there. Incendiary artillery will try to force a retreat from the advancing flame pyos. Panthers have not gotten any hits off on the IS-2 yet. Stuka bomb strike is being dropped on something. I'm not sure what. It's going to land in this general area, though. Kind of lands just generally in the center of everything. Inflicts a few kills on some conscripts, but nothing serious. I'm surprised he didn't go with the anti-tank strafe to try and nail that IS-2 at low health. CaptainSPrice was falling pretty low himself, though. The engagement goes to neither of them, really. And he will pull back to get some repairs done on his Panthers, which should be pretty quick with his 5 Pioneer squads. Meanwhile, Jesulin is operating on only 2 combat engineers, but he only has 1 tank to repair. Should be pretty quick. In the midst of this, Price does manage to get control of 1 victory point, but other than that, the territory didn't really shift. One flamethrower continues to counter harassment here in the south. There's Maxim available over there. Jesulin might send that, try and accomplish something. We do have a little bit of light harassment in the north of the victory points. Get the clock ticking against Jesulin again. He's only got 150 points remaining. As he crosses the road, he will take heavy damage from that LMG. Still no Molotovs from Jesulin either. I'm a huge advocate of Molotovs, but Jesulin just doesn't feel the need. Anti-infantry strafe could secure this area for Price. Nice dodge on the grenade, and the victory point will remain in his hands. Shock troops are sent running home. But 1 Pio squad is not going to be sufficient to defend the south from this push, and the center victory point is falling to a flamethrower and conscripts as well, while the IS-2 makes its way to the north to try and secure that territory. CaptainSPrice will retreat immediately. 1 conscript squad will retreat from some flamethrowers down there. Panther's about to hit a mine. No big deal though with the IS-2 tied up in the north. Pios should be available somewhat nearby to get that repaired. Yeah, plenty of Pioneers. And that Maxim will probably also be forced away by the top mount machine guns on these Panthers. Not to mention a rifle grenade from those Grenadiers. So off they go. South victory point will fall to CaptainSPrice. IS-2 is making its way down with field gun support. Panther will be fully repaired before he can make it. North VP is being taken by one of Jesulin's infantry squads, while the south is being taken by some Grenadiers. Panther's trying to get a little bit aggressive here. CaptainSPrice throws some more munitions in the bank with redistribute resources. Panther's trying to get aggressive, but all shots missing or bouncing, and they'll actually flank around and try to take out this field gun with their top mount machine guns instead of continuing to engage the IS-2, I think. Gets cleared. Panther falling a little low. Ooh, and he hits a mine! He hits a mine! That could be a really clutch mine! All of his infantry is retreating! Mass retreat away from the IS-2! The Panther's been recrewed! Stuka dive bomb and anti-tank strafe coming in though. I don't know what's gonna happen. Bomb will destroy the field gun. Anti-tank strafe misses, but 1 Panther does go down. CaptainSPrice wants to trade, going in deep, trying to blitz behind that IS-2, but his shots are bouncing. No! We could see 2 Panthers destroyed here and no trade. That being said, I don't know, maybe the Panther could get away. He gets a really lucky main gun destroyed crit right there, and on this road he should be able to get to safety. Maybe, drive faster. Oh, and a shot bounces on the frontal armor. He should be able to get away. Fortunately for him, that was extremely lucky. A main gun destroyed crit and a bounce. Loses a Panther here. Just none of his shots would penetrate that IS-2. The Panther just doesn't have that punch that it needs to take these things on. And Jesulin did have the presence of mind to recrew.
The enemy has taken our supply sector. They're trying to kill us.
The field gun during that. And that was the critical decision that caused that Panther to be destroyed. Grenadier squad there will be forced to retreat. These Grenadiers taking control of the central VP. Jesulin still very behind on VPs, and the clock will continue to tick against him. Grenadiers moving to harass the north should be able to take that victory point unopposed. This Panther got repaired to full in no time, and the IS-2 has received no repairs. We could see a really aggressive push here by CaptainSPrice. He's going straight into the Soviet base. Jesulin has made no repairs. This could be huge. That shot on the frontal armor penetrated, and the Panther gets a Vet 2 armor bonus here. We could see the IS-2 go down. I don't see how he's going to survive this. Panther's second shot will bounce. IS-2 is now up to Vet 2, continuing to try to kite. A T-grenade will damage the Panther engine, but it doesn't matter. IS-2 is destroyed. There it goes. This Panther should be able to get to safety. It has a damaged engine, but only one field gun is available to do anything about this. Vet 2 has tons of frontal armor, and Jesulin cannot field another IS-2 for a significant amount of time. Engagement in the middle will see a squad of Grenadiers retreating, but it's not a huge deal. Now that the IS-2 is off the field, CaptainSPrice is in the lead once again, should be able to get the victory points securely under his control as long as this Panther survives. I think it's going to get away. All of CaptainSPrice's infantry is moving to save it. AT grenades being tossed. It's taken a significant amount of damage, but the engine's not destroyed or anything. The field gun's trying to get into position to finish it off. I think it's going to get away. Incendiary artillery being dropped on the blob. That Panther just took a big hit from the field gun. One hit from death. He's hiding behind this building. I don't think the field gun can finish him off. There is, however, an IS-2 being rapidly deployed to the area. This many Pioneers should be able to fully repair that Panther in no time. But that IS-2 is getting here really fast. Clearing out that field gun's a big deal, though. If he crews that, he might be able to take this thing out. Panther's already up to half health. IS-2 has to circle around, maybe? What's it doing? Can't figure it out. IS-2 can't get a line on it from here, and the Panther's already fully repaired. It did not make it in time, and now this thing has a damaged engine. Anti-tank strafe coming in, and it arrives instantly. Wow! Look at that damage! Fully repaired Vet 2 Panther going up against an almost dead IS-2. I think we could be looking at the game right here. Lots of Pios available to screen against the advancing supporting infantry. Panther just refuses to finish the job, though. There it goes. IS-2 destroyed. CaptainSPrice has drained all of Jesulin's fuel, and Jesulin surrenders! He surrenders, and CaptainSPrice will remain king of the hill. Good game, well played.